Hey everybody, Eddie Holloway from Just Another Guy podcast. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Today I'm just going to tell a little story that happened to me back in the 80s. I was reading an article about Janis Joplin. I knew of Janis Joplin because of my older brothers. I knew that she was a great singer. She had a unique voice. Probably one of the first kind of rock female singers out there. And she tore it up. She had that raspy voice and just screaming. She had that screaming going on. And she was cool. She always, she was a hippie, but she was a free spirit. She loved the blues, grew up on the blues, used to sneak out to go see the blues. And she just put that blues into some rock, and we got Janis Joplin. Probably up for anything, but sometimes that could be a downfall too. She got into drugs, loved her alcohol, Southern Comfort, if I'm not mistaken. But she started using heroin. And she got sober for a while. Now, I don't know up to her death if she was sober and that was her relapse. About 8 more people died that same night, probably from the same batch of heroin, because it was almost like 50% heroin, where it's supposed to be like 3% or 5%. So she, kind of died instantly. But that day, when she bought the heroin, she was staying at the Landmark Motor Hotel, I think is what they called it. And she left it in her room and went down to Sunset Sound Recordings. And she was actually making some new music with a new band. She was supposed to sing the next day. It was time for vocals, but she went out and partied with a couple of the guys from the band and went to Barney's Beanery on Holloway Drive, across from Holloway Motel. And she partied there, and they said she drank a lot, but she could definitely hold her own. She was a pretty good drinker. She went back to the hotel by herself. Went into her room, tried to call her fiance, but he went out for the night. So I don't know if she was feeling bored, lonely. She ended up taking that heroin, and they said she died on October 4th at 1:30 in the morning. Well, in the 80s, I went and visit and stayed in the room where she passed. I used to cruise the boulevard with my motorcycle. Used to hang out a lot in front of the Whiskey, the Troubadour, the Rainbow, the Roxy, and the other one with the old man. It turned into the Key Club. Well, it didn't turn. They totally got rid of it, but it was a kind of a metal place, or glam. I can't think of the old man. I always saw him at the Rainbow. So anyway, I was there. I went and visited weeks before and got the room. Somebody was kind of like living in there for a few months or so, but they were moving out, and they said I could have it before this next person moved in. Girls always hit you up for rides, and they're always girls you always see. Once in a while, you would recognize them, and they would ask for a ride, and hang out for the night. It was kind of cool. So there's this one girl that I think I already gave her a ride twice, and I saw her. We started talking, asked if she wanted to go eat. We went to go eat, and I was telling her that I got a hotel room down the street. The Landmark Hotel was on Franklin Avenue in Hollywood. And that if she wanted to go with me and then go check it out. And she kind of looked at me like, yeah, right, But I was a nice guy. So we talked a little bit more, and then I asked her again, if she wanted to go with me. And she kind of hesitated, but she finally agreed, and we went over there. And actually, the person in the front desk took us all the way down to the room, opened it up for us, and kind of gave us a little tour of the room before she left, and kind of pointed out where Janis Joplin passed away at, which she passed away on the floor between the bed and the wall. And as you're seeing, I put up some of my favorite pictures of Janis Joplin as I'm talking. And I also have a couple of videos. One with the Getty Museum footage, the black and white, is probably after Janis died. They went in there and filmed the room. And then I brought up somebody who visited the room about a month ago, and his name was, he has actually a YouTube called Scott on Tape. Real cool guy. It's called, it's on YouTube, and it's called Scott on Tape. I am using his video. The rights are all his. But you can tell the difference. His video, Scott's video, has 2 beds in the room, and it's pretty clean. And when I was there in the 80s, there was 1 bed, kind of a sofa area, and not so clean. Plus, that place was kind of rocking. It was loud in that hotel, so there was people still. They were partying there that night. And coming by the room, I could hear him outside the door and saying, "This is Janis's room," taking pictures. But anyway, me and my friend, we got in the room, and the front desk gave us the tour, and then she left. I brought a cassette player with me, and it was Janis music, and I played it, and we just started walking around the room. And she went one way. She went towards the kitchen. Oh, let me describe the room. You walk in, there's some closets, space on the right. Kind of weird because there was a lot of closet space. And then you walk a little further, there was on the right was a walk-in room, kind of a vanity kind of thing where there was a mirror, kind of a dressing room. And then you had a closet with the sliding doors. Kind of remind me of my closet, that the doors slide back and forth. And the bed right at the end of the hallway, the bed was right there. And she passed away between the bed and the wall of those closets on the left. And you keep on walking, and there was a front room setting, and then down to the right was you got the bathroom, shower, and then you have a kitchen at the end. So you have a windows in your front room, and then you go into the kitchen. There's also a window in there. And I thought the kitchen was the best place. So after we were walking around, I went into the closet area. There was a bunch of writing on the wall. I mean, a lot. In Scott's video, they kept the closet, and they even put glass in there. So I came out, and she says, "Man, I'm getting kind of a weird vibe, and I'm not feeling too good in here." And I said, "No, everything's will be all right. You want me to turn off the music?" And she said no. And she goes, "You know what? I got to go." And she just walked past me and walked out the door. And I'm like, okay. So I stood in the room a little bit, walked around some more. So I went to go find her, went down the hallway, and she was in the front. She actually was coming from outside in, and she said that she just called her dad to come and pick her up. And I'm like, what'd you do that for? I could have gave you a ride home. And she said, no. She was kind of apologizing. I said, what are you apologizing for? I'm the weirdo. So I waited for her dad in the front with her, and the dad drove up, and she got in the car, and they talked for a little bit. I was just waiting for them to leave, and then her dad got out of the car, and I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna get punched in the face." And but I remember her dad was well dressed, and it was a nice car, and he came up to me and he says, "Oh, you brought my daughter to a hotel?" And I said, "Wait, sir, it's not what you think." He smiled and says, "No, my daughter told me," explaining to me that he's a big Janis Joplin fan, and can I see the room? And I said, "Yeah, sure, come on in." So we went to the room, and he just started walking around, and he was just saying, "Wow, check this out. Oh, this is a trip, and can you believe this?" And it was just funny because he was just going to every room making noise. And then he sat down on the couch and started telling me about Janis Joplin. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he even said he attended one of her concerts. And And he got up, and then he got quiet when he walked over to where he asked me where Janis died at. And I said, right here on the floor. And he got real quiet. And he just stood there for a minute or two. And then he turned around and said, oh, shit, my daughter's in the car. So I forgot she was in the car. And so he thanked me, said goodbye, and he left. And there I was by myself. And I tried to be, try to be cool. And I sat down for a little bit, listened to music, trying to rock out a little bit. And it just got scary. It got spooky and scary. And I couldn't turn on more. I turned on the bathroom lights. I turned every light in the place. And it still I'm getting goosebumps right now. I don't know if you can see them. Just knowing where she passed and the whole bit. And I said, well, Janis, nice visiting you, but I got to go. It was interesting, the whole bit. I wish I would have stayed and even stayed the night, but good memories. There's a lot. Just like my Karen Carpenter video, I just wish that Janis would have stuck around and make more music and what we could have enjoyed even more. We lost a good one there. And if I'm not mistaken, they kind of started the 27 Club with her. I don't think she was the first 27. If you ever stayed in that room, leave a comment. Tell me how you felt. And what else? Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel, the like button. And until we see each other again, Just Another Guy podcast, Eddie Holloway, out.
When you're close, I get so weak. Get so scared, my stomach squeeze. Whoa, baby, can't you see? Your pretty hands, your pretty teeth.